kind of Hall of Fame we have here. Spring Hill's been playing, depending on when you look at college athletics, back into the 1880s. In our Hall of Fame, we have a guy named Richard Moon Ducote, who Pop Warner, for those who don't know, Pop Warner was a legendary football coach, called Moon Ducote the greatest player he ever saw play football. Spring Hill grad. Eddie Moylan. Eddie Moylan played tennis here right before World War II. Eddie Moylan played in the U.S. Opens, Australian Open. He was captain of the Davis Cup gold medal team. He was coach of the U.S. Davis Cup gold medal team. The Bowling brothers, Milton Frank, former major leaguers. Frank was an all-star for the Tigers. Dr. Ferdy Pacheco, many of you will remember, the older people here, he was the fight doctor, Muhammad Ali's doctor. Nick Bollettieri, tennis guru. And of course, another major leaguer who's here tonight, Blake Stein. So it's a pretty illustrious Hall of Fame that you're going to have. Our first inductee tonight, Mark Allen. Mark, I'll tell a story. Mark was a senior when I became the head coach here. And he kind of helped me keep my job. But if it wasn't for Mark, we don't win the Gulf Coast Championship in '94. He had a great second half over at the University of Mobile when we pounded the number 3 team in the country. But Mark's gone on, very successful businessman locally. So Mark Allen's our first inductee.
Mark Allen was a dominant force in the paint and a key member of 3 NAIA national tournament teams during his time on the Hill. Averaging double figures in each of his 3 seasons, Allen's consistency and efficiency made him one of the most reliable scorers in program history. A 1993-94 All-Conference selection and All-American honorable mention, Allen finished his career with 1,064 points, 446 rebounds, and an impressive 66% field goal percentage. His 17-point-12 rebound performance in the 1993-94 GCAC Championship helped lift Spring Hill to a victory over crosstown rival and number 3 ranked Mobile. Widely regarded as one of the top post players in the NAIA as a senior, Mark Allen left a lasting mark on Badger basketball. Congratulations, Mark Allen.
Congratulations, Mark Allen.
Sorry. I thought we were going to have dramatic music for dramatic effect there. Well, thank you, Hall of Fame committee, and this is truly a special honor, special night. And I'm so humbled by this, and to see all my old teammates and have my family here, it's just really awesome. And so I'll try to make this brief. So growing up, I basically had 3 goals: play college basketball, graduate, and to have a family. And Spring Hill College and the community around this college had a part in me accomplishing all three of those goals. So for those who don't know my story, I didn't start here at Spring Hill. I started at Spring Hill's biggest rival, the University of Mobile. So I was there, I was a redshirt freshman in my first year, and then I started playing as a freshman. And I played the first semester, the fall semester, and I was having a pretty good year. I'd worked my way into the starting lineup. Well, the last game before Christmas break, the last game of the fall semester, probably the best way to put it is my coach and I, we had a falling out, and I abruptly left the team after that game. That night, I put all my belongings in the car and I drove home. And I had no plan B, and I just made an abrupt decision, but it's not a decision that I regret. I thought my dream of playing basketball was over. I really did. So there was about 2 weeks there around Christmas time that I really thought the dream was over. And it was a very tough Christmas that year. But a few days later, about a week later, my phone rang, and it was a friend of mine from high school that I hadn't talked to in a long time. And he was a student here at Spring Hill College, and he worked in the athletic office here as a runner. His name was Tom Emmons, and he had heard about what had happened. It was actually in the paper. And he said, the athletic director would like to talk to you if you're interested about possibly playing basketball here. So I said, sure. And a few days later, I made my way here, and I met one of the nicest gentlemen I've ever met in my life, Father Jerry Hughes, who was the athletic director at that time. And I met Coach Carl Nash that same day, and they had a scholarship available, and it felt right, and so it happened, and I enrolled. So they got me enrolled, literally within a week, and I was a student here. And so that's when what we call the Spring Hill experience began for me. That was a big marketing thing back in the 90s, but I really did experience the Spring Hill experience. And I will tell you a little bit about that. So the first semester, back then you had to sit out a whole year before you could play. So it's not like it is today. So the first semester, I was just a student. Coach Nash said it's probably better if you just focus on your books and not practice and get adjusted to class. And that was good advice, because coming to Spring Hill was quite an adjustment. First off, the culture was a lot different. Every day driving into campus was a new adventure for me. I was born and raised here in Mobile, and there were students here from all across the country, from all walks of life, from all socioeconomic levels, and of a different faith. And it was a real adventure. And it was great. But you know what? They welcomed me in, the faculty, the staff, the team, they welcomed me in greatly. And it was a great experience. And so that fall, so the Spring Hill gave me the opportunity to play basketball again. And I'm forever grateful for that. That fall we started playing, and I got with the guys, and the season began, and we've had a lot of success. But Spring Hill has always been a major part of that success in my life. And it didn't end there with just playing basketball. I graduated from here. That was my life goal number 2. I came to faith in Christ here. That was a big deal in my life, of course. My wife and I were married here at Spring Hill College in St. Joseph's Chapel. In 2010, as Coach mentioned, I started Momentum IT Services, a business, and guess who my first customer was? None other than Spring Hill College. And they were that anchor customer for me that allowed me to kind of get my feet under me in the business. So they have made a difference in my life in so many ways throughout the years. There are many people I want to thank. I want to thank my coaches. Coach Carl Nash was the first coach I had when I came to Spring Hill. He was a wonderful man. that really, he was a player's coach, and we loved playing for him. And he really believed in me at a time when I really needed it. And so I'm very grateful and thankful for Coach Nash. My senior year, we had Coach Nyland, and he's a little nervous right now. And that was his first year as a head coach. So I think he was very zealous to put his stamp on the program. I know he was, as a matter of fact. But hey, Coach Nyland, best coach I ever had. Best, by far away, the best coach I ever had. Best coach I ever had. And he taught me how to play defense. Unfortunately, it was the last year of my career that I learned how to play defense. It would have benefited me a lot earlier than that, but he taught me how to play defense. And you know what? Coach Nyland, he pushed us really hard, but he cared. He cared about his players. You know, him and Ellen, they had young children at the time, probably 4 or 5 of them, but they took the time. They would invite the team over to their house for spaghetti dinners, and they would open their house, and they did that all the time. And Coach Nyland would come around on Murray Hall, and he would come visit us individually, and he would sit down with us, and he'd say, "How are you doing? Is there anything you need? Is there anything," you know, he got to know his players. And I thank you, Coach, for that, because I'd never had that before, and that meant a lot. So thank you, Coach Nyland. Coach Rick Petrie was another outstanding coach. Also, while my career here, he was an assistant coach for Carl Nash. He was really good too. Teammates, you know, when I first, because you know that first semester I wasn't really involved with the team that much, but in the fall when I came back, I lived on campus, so I started practicing with the guys and spending a lot of time on the hall with the guys. And the first thing I noticed is this was a really, really irreverent bunch of guys. I'm not kidding. Nothing or no one was off limits to these guys. I mean, the topics of conversation, the stuff you don't talk about, that was the first thing that you talked about in our locker room. I was amazed. You know, and they would, I think when I first started, I had really thin skin looking back. They would say stuff that was offensive, and you know what I would do? I'd punch them. I mean, you know, I grew up with my older brother who's here tonight, and so I was picked on, so my response was just punch him. And so after about 2 altercations, Coach Nash called me in his office, and he's like, "Alan, what's wrong with you? You got to stop this." And so I did. But once we got to know each other, I mean, we were just, you know, we were brothers from then on. But I want to say a shout out to the seniors that were part of my senior class that year: Mark Hubbard, Sam Coates, Ronald Gomez, another Hall of Famer, Chris Drake, and Kevin Andrews. Next thing, I want to thank my family. My brother Greg is here tonight. He's 2 years older than me. He's the reason I'm in this Hall of Fame, or that I'm the player that I was, because, you know, life goal number 4 on my list that I didn't mention was to beat my older brother in basketball. And but he really, we played a lot of one-on-one, and he really helped me develop as a basketball player. So thank you, Greg, for that. Love you. And my wife, Jennifer, she didn't graduate from Spring Hill, but she grew up in this area. She lived literally within a walking distance of the campus. She had a lot of friends here, and so I'm thankful for her. I will never get in front of a group and not thank my wife, because she is an absolute blessing to me. God put us together, and I'm thankful for her every day. My sons, Andrew and Gaines, are here with their lovely wives. Thank you, guys. I love you. And my mom, she's here tonight. So my dad, some of you guys remember my dad. He passed away about a year ago. So my mom and dad would come to every game. They knew the name of every player. They went to the national tournament. They were very involved. They always flew to the national tournaments. But my mom will be 80 next Friday. She will be 80 years old next Friday. Yep. And, yep. And we are celebrating. She's a lifelong Elvis fan, so we are taking her to Graceland next weekend. She's never been. She does. Surprise, Mom. She does not know that until now. I figured this would be a good time to tell her. So we're going. But Mom, you've always been there for me. You've always been there, and I appreciate it, and I love you. I want to close with one story. So, my sons, we've had a number of these reunions through the years. The school has put on some reunions and celebrations over in the gymnasium through the years. So, my sons got to know a lot of the players, their children, the wives, so forth. So they kind of learned, and also at one point they got to hold some old game tape of their dad and some of the players. So they kind of got to know a lot of the players, and I would talk about and tell stories and about their unique abilities and what their strengths and talents were. So they kind of got to know a lot of the players. Well, they said, I think it was Andrew asked me, Dad, what made these teams great? And, you know, I kind of told him, well, we had unselfish players and we had a lot of talent and we had good leadership, which we did. And so all those things. But I never really felt like I nailed it. What took it from good to great? You know, the winning and the tradition. And so I heard the answer to that, and it was in the 2017 national championship game between Clemson and University of Alabama, and it was pregame, and they were about to kick it off, and you know how they do? They go down. And they interview the coaches on the field, and they say, "What did you tell your team? What did you tell your team before you came out?" And so Coach Dabo Sweeney said, "I told them that you have two incredibly talented teams about to take the field, but the team that's going to win is the one who has the most love." And when I heard that, I said, "Boys, that was the difference. That was the difference between good and great, is the love. We had love in our locker room for each other. And that was the difference." Thank you.
Our next inductee, and I think I told this story last year, when Coach Martin came to take over volleyball here at Spring Hill, I was out at the University of Mobile and I watched her bring her team out, and they weren't real good. But I'm like, just watching her coach, I told our coach, I said, "You better get ready. They're going to be really good." And then the next year, they had this incredible player, and that's who we're inducting next. Yi Ting. Hit it again.
Known simply as Ting at Spring Hill, Sao is regarded as one of the greatest volleyball players in program history. Transferring in 2010, she immediately changed the direction of the program, leading the Badgers to the Southern States Athletic Conference Western Division title with a 27-5 record, their first winning season in 5 years. Her play earned her SSAC West Division Player of the Year, All-Conference Honors, Southeast Region Newcomer of the Year, All-Region Honors, and recognition as a third-team NAIA All-American. As a senior in 2011, Ting guided Spring Hill to its best season ever at 40-3, including an undefeated conference record and the program's first national tournament appearance in nearly a decade. She was named the SSAC Player of the Year, West Division Player of the Year, All-Conference, Southeast Region Player of the Year, All-Southeast Region, and a first-team NAIA All-American, as well as a co-side second-team Academic All-American. In just 2 seasons, Ting helped transform Spring Hill Volleyball into a championship program, leaving a lasting mark as one of its all-time greats. Congratulations, Yi Ting Sao.
nice dinner. Well, sorry? Okay. Try my best. What an incredible honor to stand here tonight. Join the Spring Hill College Athletic Hall of Fame family, alongside with many remarkable members. My heartfelt congratulations to you all for your also great accomplishments. Thank you to Spring Hill College Athletic Department Volleyball Program for this tremendous honor. I feel incredibly grateful. Thank you to my beloved Spring Hill volleyball team, my teammates with who I shared an unforgettable and fun journey. Thank you every assistant I had during my time on the hill. And thank you to my coach, Dr. Peggy Martin, and her partner, Coach Summerall. Thank you for everything you have done for me, both on and off the court. Coach, your encouraging words inspired me to explore the world. I wouldn't be the person I am today without your unwavering love and support. This honor belongs to every member of the Spring Hill volleyball team. I would also like to extend a special thank you to the people at my table. My husband, Nicholas, thank you for accompanying me on this long trip. I'm so happy I get to show you everything that has been a big part of my life. My teammates, Sammy, Meredith, and Shane. It's so nice to see you again. Being back together brings me all the great memories. Those preseason workouts, the Badger bus rides for our away games, the special high fives and the cheers. Tonight, seeing you all here reminds me the friendship and memories we made remain forever. To my friend JD and his wife, Summer, both has been my beach volleyball partners. Seeing you here tonight makes me so happy. Your authenticity and passion for the sport of beach volleyball is truly inspiring. Once again, Coach Martin and Coach Summerall, thank you for joining me this evening. And congratulations, Coach, for your extraordinary milestone of 1,500 career wins. It's truly inspiring to see under your leadership, the volleyball and beach volleyball program are continuing breaking records and achieving goals. Thank you all for being here to support me and celebrate this special moment for me. My time here on the Hill was truly unforgettable. A chapter of my life I would return to in a heartbeat. I cherish this campus, and I cherish the people here to make it so special. Thank you all once again. I hope I continue to make you proud. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
It didn't make it in the write-up, but because I was a little slow with my stat stuff doing research, but Ting had 731 kills in a season, and I don't think anybody's even close. I think 300 or 400 is the most we've had, so just an incredible player, very talented young woman. Our next inductee is part of the men's baseball team that we celebrated last year, a couple years ago, that beat South Alabama. He's been a long-time area official. And he was a great, great player here as a baseball player in the 70s. Tim Dees.
Tim Dees was the backbone of Spring Hill's baseball resurgence in the mid-1970s. Intelligent catcher who anchored the Badgers' defense and guided the team through one of its most successful stretches in program history. a key member of the 1974 Southern States Conference Championship team and the 1975 NAIA District Finalist squad, Dees helped lead the Badgers to their first 20-win season and first back-to-back winning campaigns in more than 30 years. Widely regarded as one of the best catchers in Spring Hill history, Dees was known by teammates as a, quote, coach on the field, expertly managing pitchers and calling games with precision. He was also a timely hitter, a savvy base runner, and he even contributed on the mound in relief for Mobile Sports Hall of Fame coach Stan Galley. Dees caught one of the program's signature wins, the 1974 upset of nationally ranked South Alabama, a 3-2 victory that remains a highlight in Spring Hill baseball lore. Congratulations, Tim Dees!
So good evening. So as Joe said, I didn't have this in my speech, but I didn't know he was going to say something about it. I might be the only person in the Hall of Fame who actually played here and then umpired later here. You know what they say about baseball, in baseball, when you lose your eyesight, to make an umpire out of you. So I guess that's why I became an umpire. But anyway, so it's an honor and privilege to be inducted in the Hall of Fame in this class of 2025 and to be inducted alongside these other great athletes. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee. I'm extremely honored and humbled to be a part of this class. I'd like to also thank current President Dr. Van Brunt and Athletic Director Joe Nyland for their current leadership of our beloved institution. If I take a moment to think about the individuals that were instrumental in my success, I have to think about those that are not with us anymore. That would be Dr. Father Paul Tippin, and Athletic Director Jerry Hughes. Our baseball team realized the successes both on and off the field under their leadership. Of course, you can't possibly talk about Spring Hill College and not talk about Stan Galley. Coach Galley coached here for 26 years, retiring in 1983. And we were fortunate to have had Coach Galley leading our team during my years at Spring Hill College. Coach Galley was a very unique coach. He combined his love of the game and his love of his players to make a group of young men overachieve in a game we so much loved. As I think about Spring Hill, I think about a couple of other individuals. One is Dolly Galley. Dolly was Stan's beloved wife. And I have to think about my dad, Big Ed. That's who my teammates called him. My dad's no longer with us anymore, but Dad would be here, and you just had to know my dad to know why we called him Big Ed. You know, it's just not I can't really explain it. You have to kind of know it. But anyway, I just have to think about those two other individuals as we think about this. But most of all, I want to think of my teammates, many of whom are here tonight, and there's a few that couldn't join us. I'm sure you already know, but the friendships that we've had over the years have meant the world to me. To have been on the field with each of you to honor and to celebrate the wins, especially that 3-2 victory over South Alabama in 1974, and then to suffer through a few losses, but those are times I'll cherish my entire life. I love each and every one of you like a brother. To help you understand what baseball meant to me, I need to take you back a few years. 1964. I was 11 years old, and I was selected to play on an all-star team at South Little League down in South Mobile County. Little did I know that Little League team would end up in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and came in third in the Little League College World Series. and that's where my love for baseball began. So fast forward a few years, 1971, I graduated from high school. In my senior season, I met a guy named Bill Darden. Bill was the scout for the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Bill introduced me to a guy named Rudy Abbott at Jacksonville State University. Rudy had lost his catcher the previous year to graduation, needed a catcher. And so Bill introduced me to Rudy. I drove to Jacksonville, signed a scholarship, and played for baseball my freshman year at Jacksonville State University. We had a very good season at Jacksonville State, but there was something missing. You see, the love of my life was a young nursing student in Mobile. She had been my high school sweetheart. So I left Jacksonville, came back to Mobile, signed a scholarship with Spring Hill College, and ultimately married that nurse between my junior and senior year on June 14, 1974. So we recently celebrated our 51st wedding anniversary. So you see, transferring to Spring Hill and marrying Karen were the two best decisions I ever made in my life. Now, during my time at Spring Hill, there are wonderful memories here, and I'd like to share two of them with you. The year was 1974. Coach Galley had recruited a really, really strong freshman class, and in my opinion, that 1974 class might be the best baseball team that ever been here. I know there's some young kids here that played, might argue with me a little bit, but if we could go back in our youth, we'd play you. We'd probably beat you too. So about midway through the 1974 season, guess who comes to town? Jacksonville State University, the team I played for a couple of years before. So looking forward to meeting my teammates and my old coach, Rudy Abbott. We had a 3-game series, doubleheader on Saturday, single game on Sunday. We get rained out on Saturday, so we play a doubleheader on Sunday. First game of the doubleheader, midway through the game, we're up by 1 run. They got a guy on second base hit to right field. And my good friend Jim Hendry's not here tonight, and he would tell you that it wasn't his fault. But I'm telling you now, it was his fault. He fields the ball, throws it home. I know the throw's going to be late. I got to keep this guy from scoring, so I block the plate. The guy hits my front feet, rolls up on me, and it's a hell of a collision. That's the only thing I can tell you. His momentum comes up, his helmet hits me in the mouth. The good news is he's out, we win the game. The bad news is I'm missing 2 front teeth. And to this date, the teeth have never been found, and I believe they're still buried in the dirt at home plate in the hill. Now, as a side note, if you recall, I married Karen between my junior and senior year. 1974 was my junior year. So we're waiting on teeth to come in. You know, it wasn't like technology. You had to wait a few months for those teeth to come in. And it's like, you know, all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. You know, all I want for my wedding is my 2 front teeth. So the morning of June the 14th, 1974, my wedding day, my dentist called and said, I got your teeth in. So I called Karen. I say, my teeth are in. She said, drop everything and go get them damn things. so I do. Get my teeth, we get married, we live happily ever after. But I'd like to close with one thing here for you. When I arrived in Spring Hill in 1973, I was Methodist and I'm going to a Catholic institution. Hell, I spent the first semester trying to understand why Catholics couldn't say the complete Lord's Prayer. They kept saying, deliver us from evil. You know, and I'm waiting on, you know, for thine is the kingdom, and blah, blah, you know, and I'm kind of like the whole semester, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. But I don't know why, but I did take some religion courses, theology and philosophy. And little did I know that those classes were going to define my life. Soon after graduation, Karen and I are married. You know, we're married, we start our life. The next few years, we raised 2 wonderful kids. both of them are here with me tonight, my son Kevin, my daughter Kimberly. And we raised them in a Methodist church, but something's missing in my life. During our young married life, Karen and I, we had Catholic friends. We even went to a Catholic church occasionally. Karen's sister and brother-in-law were Catholics. And I remember one Christmas Mass, we went to Mass at Our Lady of Lourdes down on Dolphin Parkway. And I met a priest named Timothy Deasy. And my name's Timothy Dees. His name's Timothy Deasy. So hold on to that a minute. I'm coming to the story here. So fast forward to 2003. I'm in the middle of my working career, traveling a lot with my company. Karen has her nursing career. You know, we're empty nesters. And I get home from a business trip and I call Karen and I say, hey, I'm on the way home. I got something important I want to talk to you about. Well, you know what? In retrospect, that probably wasn't the best thing to say to her because she thought I was going to ask her for a divorce. So I get home. Karen's white as a sheet. We sit down and I'm talking to her about converting to Catholicism. And she looked at me and she's finally able to take a breath. She said, oh, is that all you wanted? Yeah, she said, I thought you wanted a divorce. I said, no, I'm going to convert to Catholicism. So I make an appointment to talk to the priest of Christ the King Parish in Daphne. And guess what? When I walk in the office, the priest is Father Timothy Deasy. Now, I met him for the first time, and the only time I ever met him was 25 or 28 years ago, whatever the number is. So I think there was some divine intervention here, if you would, Father. I told him I wanted to convert to Catholicism. I told him about my time at Spring Hill, and his exact words to me were, why would you want to do that? I went, holy crap, that's not exactly the thought I would get from him, you know. But we had a nice conversation. You know, I entered the RCI class, and I was on Easter Sunday, April 10th, 2004, I'm welcomed into the Catholic Church. So if you ask me what Spring Hill College meant to me, I'll tell you this. Spring Hill is very important in my life. I cherish my time here. I cherish the education. I cherish the friends. And most of all, I cherish my teammates. But you see, baseball at Spring Hill was much more than an education. Baseball led me to the Catholic faith. It led me to my relationship with Jesus Christ. And for those blessings which come from the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, I'm forever grateful. And I'm forever grateful to Spring Hill College. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee, you know, and I've said this before at the banquet, our stats are not great. In doing research, one of our goals was, when I talked to Jim Barczyk, the committee chair, was to try to catch up with the players we missed, the student athletes we missed, and especially some of the female athletes. You know, they didn't start, I think it was in the mid-70s, Kim Cooney will tell me, but, you know, when they started women's athletics. So I started doing research, and this name kept coming up in basketball. We got Sandretta in a couple of years ago, and this name, Gina DeChico, I'm probably saying it wrong, but kept coming up. And so I finally was able to dig through enough stats, and just, you know, that's when Jeannie Milling's team was really, really good. So, you know, we finally were able to get those people on the nomination list with some of their thanks to some of their teammates, Cindy Kenny. But the next inductee is Gina DeChico.
Gina DeChico was a dynamic scorer whose accurate shot and smooth, fast style of play made her one of the most exciting players of her era. Known for her ability to hit from anywhere on the court, DeChico's energy and competitive drive elevated her teammates and helped push Spring Hill women's basketball to new heights. A two-time Gulf Coast Athletic Conference All-Conference selection, She was also named to the region AIAW All-Tournament team and was a key contributor to the Badgers' AIAW National Tournament run. Across 3 seasons under Hall of Fame coach Jeannie Milling, 358 career points, averaging 14.9 points and 5.1 rebounds in 1981-82, 14.8 and 5.7 in 1982-83, and 16.2 and 4.6 in 83-84. That same season, she helped the Badgers to a school record 23 wins and the program's first postseason appearance. Gina DeChico's scoring touch and leadership left a lasting legacy on the Hill.
Good evening, everybody. I want to share with you that I currently serve as a member of the board of directors at my local Greater Wilmington Sports Hall of Fame in Wilmington, North Carolina. I know firsthand the amount of time and planning that is spent to put on such an elite event. I would like to thank Spring Hill College Board of Trustees, Madam President Van Brunt and her administration, Joe Nyland and his athletic department, Jim Robichek and the nomination committee, Dan Pressel, women's basketball coach, Patty Howe, and all those involved creating this special moment for me tonight. It truly is an honor to be back on campus. I first would like to congratulate my fellow inductees of 2025. I know this is a great moment for you and your families. I'm grateful to share this podium with you tonight. Over 40 years ago, 40, I stepped onto this campus to continue my education and play women's basketball. My journey to Spring Hill was different than most student athletes. I actually transferred from Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, Arkansas, to Spring Hill after my freshman year. During that time, women's basketball was still under the umbrella of AIAW. So if you signed a letter of intent and you chose to leave, or if your coach left, you had to, and if you wanted to transfer, you had to set out a year before you could play again. There was no transfer portals at that time. Okay. The exception, there was an exception to the rule. If you wanted to transfer, you could transfer at an out-of-state institution. During my freshman year in Jonesboro, there was a local family that attended my games and ultimately became very supportive to me, both on the court and off the court. They were familiar with Spring Hill. They ultimately opened up the lines of communication for me to get here. See, guys, y'all need to understand, Coach Milling never saw me play. I was never recruited by her. It was truly a leap of faith on both sides. I would like to thank Phil and Florence Jones and their daughter Trish for opening the doors to Spring Hill for me. Because of them, an opportunity was given to me. I have always and I will continue to be appreciative and thankful to the Jones family. Now back to Coach Milling. There are times when I sit in my chair and I scratch my head. What was she thinking? What coach would do that? Do you know how many stars had to line up for this to happen? She had no idea what type of athlete she was getting. And if she was here tonight, she would tell you too that she probably scratched her head a couple of times too. I don't have to go into the history and success of Coach Milling. Her accolades are already cemented here at Spring Hill and well documented. What I do want you to know is what a great individual she was off the court. She is a great mom, a great sister, a great friend to all. She loves all of her players. No matter where she coached, she wanted all of her players to be happy, to succeed, and to be loved. Thank you, Coach Milling, for taking that leap of faith. It truly is an honor to be sitting with you at the Spring Hill Hall of Fame inductee table. Your support and love will never be forgotten. As I accept this award tonight, I'm not a believer that accolades are truly earned by one individual. This is no different. I use this statement often. It takes a village. This is not just my success, but a shared success for everyone who has been part of this incredible journey. To my teammates, you were my backbone to my success. This award is a reminder of what we can achieve when we all work together toward a common goal. It's a tribute to teamwork, partnerships, and shared dreams. To Cindy, Sandretta, Deb, and all my teammates, thank you for playing a big part, not only in my individual success, but also to the team's success. I recently had a friend of mine to ask me, what was your greatest memory at Spring Hill? I thought a minute, and I said, where do I even start? I know as a team, we won some games, but it was not the wins and the losses that I remember. Well, maybe there were a couple of wins. Let me remind you, I'm from Arkansas. I wasn't familiar with the rivals of the Mobile area schools or colleges. I remember the smiles and the excitement and the thrill of victory on my teammates' faces when we beat South Alabama in Tulane. As you know, our 1981-82 team was recognized in the 2022 Hall of Fame ceremony. There was no letter I in the word team. Whether we were a starter or coming off the bench, we wanted to do our very best for Coach Milling and represent Spring Hill proudly. They are all very important to me, my teammates. We all came from different backgrounds, families, high schools, etc. But the common denominator that we all had was the love of the game. Yes, we had lots of great wins and some hurtful losses. Talent is needed in basketball, but talent is not the glue of a team's success. The glue is the heart and soul of the team. It's leadership. It's passion. It's a sacrifice. It's being unselfish. It is putting your team first, even if it made you uncomfortable individually. I can see Coach Milling calling a timeout. We're in a close game. I'm sitting in the chair, listening to her instructions. I look up and I can see every one of my teammates surrounding us, clapping, fist pumps, yelling encouragement, and believing in their teammates that we would prevail on that court that night. What a photo. I hope I never forget that image. We had great fan support from our student body, our faculty and staff members. I have to give a special shout out to the Delta sorority. They took women's basketball under their wings and were extremely supportive. And some of you are here tonight. Thank you. I mentioned faculty members. When you come to Spring Hill, you get a first-class education, but you also get a spiritual education. I was extremely blessed to have a member of the faculty at that time and priesthood that made a major impact on my spiritual journey to this day. He needs no introduction. Everyone knows and loves him. He has touched so many students. He's an icon on this campus. And I'm blessed to have him here tonight to share this special moment with me. Thank you, Father Viscardi. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In closing, I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my number one fan and a member of the Best Moms Hall of Fame. She's no longer on this earth, but I do know she's looking down on me right now. She made the ultimate sacrifices for me, and if she was here, she would be the first to shake your hand, give you a hug, and say thank you to Spring Hill for taking care of her daughter. Mom, I love and miss you. I mentioned earlier it takes a village. My village is large and it continues to grow since my graduation. I would like to thank my family and friends who are here tonight and those who could not. You have and always will be my rock. I thank the good Lord above for the many blessings that he has given me, and I pray he will continue to bless Spring Hill College for the years to come. Peace of Christ be with all of you. Thank you.
Coach Sims will verify some of these stories about our next inductee. When I first came to Spring Hill, we had a public safety director named Sidney Pearson, who was a really good player at McGill-Tulane. And we'd eat lunch every day in the cafeteria, and Sidney was an incredible storyteller. And he would tell, he played for Coach Kearns, who was the Hall of Fame coach here. And he would talk about this guy, Fish. Fish could do this, or Fish could do that. And I'm like, who is this guy Fish, man? And one day, we were playing a few years ago, our next inductee walked in the gym. He's a legend here in Mobile, and he was a great player here at Spring Hill College. John King.
John King was a standout guard whose scoring ability and leadership helped power the Badgers through one of the most competitive eras in program history. A key member of the 1974-75 Southern States Conference Championship team, King finished his career with 1,264 points and was a three-time All-Conference honorable mention. Averaging 16 points per game as a freshman, one of the highest marks ever by a Spring Hill newcomer, King made an early impact, highlighted by a 16-point performance that helped the Badgers upset South Alabama during the Jaguars' homecoming. A former prep star at McGill-Tulane Catholic High School, King earned All-State honors and, alongside high school and SHC Hall of Fame teammate Tony Bivens, broke barriers as one of the first black student athletes at Spring Hill College. He played both high school and college ball for legendary SHC Hall of Fame head coach Frank Kearns, leaving behind a legacy defined by talent, toughness, and trailblazing impact. Congratulations, John King.
Good evening. As you know, I'm John King. Some of you may know me as Fishman. Later on in the speech, I'll let you know how the story of Fishman came about. But first of all, I give all glory to God for giving me the blessing, giving me the strength to be here today. Without him, there would be no me. As one of the first black vocal players recruited to play here at Spring Hill, it is with such honor for me to be here. And I'd like to thank all of those who have supported me over the years along my journey. I'd like to thank the Spring Hill College Hall of Fame for recognizing my talent and getting me into the Hall of Fame. I see there's a lot of former ball players here tonight, so I haven't seen in a while from high school and college. hopefully after tonight we have a good time together and spend the time talking about the old school, old games. But I want to share some more thank yous to also my wife, my 2 kids. Trey, stand up. Cherie, you stand up. Both of my kids play high school basketball, played football as well. My daughter played college ball. But one thing about her, she's a little, I guess you're a little, what could I say? Testy. And she said, Daddy, you started playing varsity in high school as a sophomore. She said, that's good. But I started playing varsity in high school as a freshman. That made me better than you. I said, really? So when it came time to showing our experiences, my skill, I said I was a little bit better. I don't know. She said she played 4 years in high school in varsity team. So, but every time I asked to go on the court to compete, she said, Dad, I just got my nails done and my hair. I don't want to sweat. I said, okay, you all know the real truth. But that's my old baby, and I love her. The queen of the family, my wife, standing in the rear. Will you please stand, Sherry? Sherry and I, we just celebrated 33 years of our marriage last Friday. And I appreciate you. Thank you. My Mobile family. My Mobile family is here tonight. And I tell you, these people, each time we come to Mobile, my wife and I, we're always welcome with open arms. Whether it's for a funeral, for Mardi Gras, for McGill luncheon, Spring Hill luncheon, they're always there. So I would like for my Mobile family to stand up. You all know who you are. Love you all. I mentioned Fishman. I want to tell you how the story of Fishman came about. My father, he was an outstanding fisherman. And he and I used to fish a lot, but I didn't start fishing until I was about 6 years old. So one day on our return trip from fishing, a young man hollered at me. He said, Fishman! I didn't know who that was. Some of you might know him. His name was Elijah McKinley. Well, Elijah McKinley started Fishman by seeing me coming from fishing one day. And our next practice session at school, the only thing he could talk about is Fishman, Fishman, Fishman. And that kind of connected with me and went on to college as Fishman. So if you all have heard anything else, how the story got started, this is coming from he said, a horse's mouth. That's how it got started. And so it's been with me ever since. Now, when my story about playing basketball started, when I was a 7th grader, didn't know anything about the game, but I loved the game. As a 7th grader, I didn't know anything about shooting the ball, layups, or anything. So during practice, I guess my coach was such as, to me, he was a mentor. Not so much of a coach, he was a mentor. Because he inspired me, he motivated me, he encouraged me. My weakest shot was the layup. So he used to escort me to the other end of the court to practice one-on-one. But finally, after numbers of days of going to the gym and practicing with me one-on-one, I finally made a layup. And I was just blown away because it went in the hole. And I dedicate my passion for the game of basketball because he gave me the attention as I could do it. He never was disgruntled or got tired of me missing the layup. He stayed with me. And today is why I'm here, because his motivation and his continuous effort to make me who I was. And I played ball then. I want to mention about my next level when I returned to high school. When I graduated from Moscow Harlem area, I entered McGill. And at McGill, I played ball my freshman year, and my sophomore year, I started playing varsity. I didn't know anything about Coach Kern. I knew he was a coach. I didn't know what type of coach he was. I know he was demanding. And some of you know Coach Kearns. Coach Kearns came to me my sophomore year. He said, "You're going to play varsity." "Yes, coach. Your team." So I went to varsity, and I played for Coach Kearns 3 years in high school. After completing my senior year, Coach Kearns came to me and he said, "I'm going to take you to Spring Hill. I want you to play ball for me at Spring Hill." I wasn't too sure about that. I had enough of Coach Kearns for 3 years. I was really not too sure about that. I was so full of Coach Kearns. When I went home, I told my parents that, "Hey, I got a full 4-year scholarship to go play ball at Spring Hill." I'm not too concerned about going to Spring Hill right now. I had larger schools in mind. I want to go to a bigger school. And my dad looked at me. He gave me that glance. Oh, I was uncomfortable. It wasn't right. Something wasn't right. And I remember I looked at his feet. I remember he wore size 13 and a half boot. And I knew then I was going to Spring Hill. And I graduated from Spring Hill. But my father was a role model, and if it weren't for him being in certain places and saying certain things, I wouldn't have been where I am today. And I thank him for that, and may he rest in peace. When I got to Spring Hill, Coach Kearns said, "You're going to Spring Hill," so I wound up going to Spring Hill. The funniest thing happened. I got a letter from the Department of the Army. The Department of the Army said, I need you to go to Vietnam," in so many words. So Coach Kearns said he wanted me to play basketball for him. Now is the time for him to stand up and see and to let me know, do he really want me to play basketball for him? So I took the letter to Coach Kearns. Coach Kearns looked at the letter and said, "Let's go." He escorted me to the ROTC department. He said, "I need this man to be enrolled in ROTC." He enrolled me into ROTC for 4 years, which deferred me from going on active duty. After completion of college, my obligation was for the military. I went to the military. I served 28 and a half years honorably. That was my career. But one of the most important things I like about coming home that kind of resonate about my past and playing ball at McGill and Spring Hill, I see a lot of people that I've met over the years. I see people that come up to me who I don't even know and talk about the times I played ball and the good times they've shared and how much joy they had watching me. Then they start telling my wife all the good stories, and she just gets blown away. I don't know how many times she heard it. And I think she can stand up there and speak as well as I can about my past and how I played ball. It's amazing. I get a lot of joy out of that because as a player, you play ball, but you don't really see yourself playing ball. You're playing for the passion. You're playing to win. So what happens on the court, sometimes you don't recollect those things because it's all focused in winning. But that's one of the joys I receive when I come home. I get a lot of love from everybody here and my fam, and I really enjoy that. I said that my mentor was my basketball coach. He taught me about helping people. Everybody needs help in this world. I was a kid that needed direction. He taught me that. The kid to be motivated and confidence that you can do anything you put your best foot towards doing. Along the way, as an adult, I started mentoring children, underprivileged children. I had about 5 or 6 kids that I mentored. These kids were kids that had never, ever shown any type of social skills or independent living skills. And I was instrumental in bringing a lot of kids to the forefront and bringing them to the point where they are productive citizens in the world. And I just want to say that one of the things I learned while I was in ROTC here at Spring Hill was to be honest, have integrity, and be loyal to ones that you work with. And I think loyalty, integrity, manners will take you further than money. And I appreciate it, and I learned that over the years. And I try to give back to those who are in need as I was when I was coming up as a kid. In closing, I would like to thank my wife, my guests. I'd like to thank my Mobile family. I'd like to thank my ball players from both high school and college. I'd like to thank the overall Mobile community for your support as my basketball career has come full circle. I'd like to thank everyone who participated in that. And full circle, as like I say, full circle, I want to make sure that everybody that was a part of me, I want them to understand how grateful that I am for them to be in my life. It meant so much to me to have people in my corner when I go through certain situations, and they're there to support me and make me feel like kind of emotion up here. This is very special to me. But I appreciate all your support. So, hopefully on my next tour, I'll be able to see some of my old ball players again. Maybe we can go around a couple or two on the court. Hopefully. We might be in wheelchairs, but I think we can get around. I think we can get around a little bit. Okay? So, I see myself as I go in as I close my chapter. I see myself as at the 7th grade when I struggled to make that layup. I see myself becoming, which I did, a Hall of Famer for McGill and Hall of Famer for Spring Hill. I'd like to say good night. Thank you for all your prayers. Be safe. Hope we see you again on the other side. Six man up. Thank you.
Our next inductee is not with us tonight. He passed away a couple years ago, and we wouldn't know about him if it wasn't for his good friend, Steve Conifay, who's here tonight. Came down from Washington, D.C., and asked me to look it up. But this guy had an incredible career and was a really, really talented player on one of Stan Galley's best teams, Charles Murray.
Charles Murray. Charles Murray was a 4-year starter and one of the most consistent hitters in Spring Hill baseball history. In the area, Murray made an immediate impact as a freshman and went on to lead the Badgers in hitting during both his freshman and senior seasons. In 1965, he capped his career with a .375 batting average and an impressive .680 slugging percentage, earning the Matei Spring Hill College Athlete of the Year award. That same season, he helped lead the Badgers to their best record in more than 15 years, highlighted by taking 3 of 4 games from nationally ranked number 3 Tulane. Murray's clutch hitting was evident from the start. His timely double as a freshman helped secure an 11-4 win over Southern Miss. A pure hitter and steady leader, Charles Murray's impact on the Hill remains part of the program's proud tradition. Congratulations, Charles Murray!
Thank you. My sisters, Claire and Leslie, and I are honored to receive this recognition on behalf of our father, Charles Murray, who passed away 2 years ago this past Sunday. Our dad spoke often of his time at Spring Hill, his classes, his fraternity, and especially his years on the baseball team, which he loved. He proudly displayed his Athlete of the Year award wherever he lived. We know that he would be deeply honored to receive this recognition today. On behalf of our family, we want to thank the Hall of Fame Committee, Spring Hill, and our dad's childhood best friend, Steve Conifay, for helping preserve and celebrate his athletic legacy. Thank you.
Our next inductee was part of a great era of baseball here in the early 90s. He wasn't able to beat his wife in the Hall of Fame, but David Weems.
David Weems was the definition of toughness and consistency. A four-year starter whose competitive spirit set the tone for one of the most successful eras in Spring Hill baseball history. As a freshman in 1992, Weems helped the Badgers set a school record with 40 wins and captured the District 30 championship while hitting .312 from the leadoff spot. The following year, he anchored the infield at shortstop as the Badgers won the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference Championship and posted the best team fielding percentage in school history at .972. Weems hit .329 as a sophomore with 14 doubles and a team-leading 32 RBIs, showcasing both his defensive prowess and offensive reliability. Over his career, he ranked fourth all-time in fielding percentage, drew 102 walks, and maintained a .307 career batting average. During Weems' 4 seasons, the Badgers won an impressive 138 games. Hall of Fame head coach Frank Sims called him, quote, one of the best shortstops I ever coached, if not the best. Congratulations, David Weems.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you to the Spring Hill community. Thank you, Dr. Van Braun. Congratulations to all the fellow inductees. Thank you to my family and friends and teammates and coaches who are here tonight, those who are unable to make it tonight. I'm just very appreciative to everyone. I'd like to mention a number of people who are here. My sister Angie, my brother Mike, my brother Luke, who also played here at Spring Hill. My mom, who was unable to make it tonight, but for all of her love and support. And especially my dad. My dad passed away 15 years ago, but he made me love this game like there was no tomorrow. He coached and played for over 60 years. He taught me about how to play, how to love it and how to let it love you back. So I know he would have really loved to be here tonight and appreciated this. To Ollie and Susu Stuardi, my in-laws, for being here, thank you so much. To my wife Lindsay, who Joe so confidently mentioned, she's been in the Hall of Fame for a couple years now. She played basketball here, and it was just so much joy to watch her play. And Lindsay, I know you never got the opportunity to watch me play, but if it was anything like watching you play, I know you would have loved it. So thank you for everything and for all your love and support. To my family who are here, my children, Patrick, Joseph, Stuart, John, and Lucy even made the cut tonight. Mom and Dad are so proud of you, but just remember, you got 2 Hall of Fame parents now, so everything goes, everything's set in stone. Shouldn't be any arguing with anything. No, just remember, it's not about you. It never was. It's about your teammates. It's about your friends. It's about your family. It's about your coworkers. It's about everybody God puts in your path. And Mom and Dad are so proud of you. So keep working hard and plugging away. To my friends who are here, so many of them in the back. First, I want to mention our coach, Coach Sims. I don't know where I'd be without you. You changed the course of my life. You came and saw a skinny kid in Biloxi, Mississippi in the spring of '91. Was probably 150 pounds, soaking wet. And you watched me make a couple of diving plays. I don't even know if I finished them off or not. Maybe had a bunt single. And I think you saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. I'm forever indebted to you for giving me the opportunity to play this great game. And then when I got to Spring Hill, for giving me an opportunity to play and compete. You gave us an environment that just gave us a chance to play in a joyful environment where we could love the game, love each other. And I think because of that, we had so much success when we were here. So I'm forever grateful for you, Seven, and we love you. And also a fellow Hall of Famer. Some of my teammates are here tonight. Blake Stein, who's already been mentioned, fellow Hall of Famer and former Major League pitcher. We love him, even though he quit on us after his junior year to sign a contract. Kevin Grimes, who was one of the leaders on that great '92 team. I really appreciate Kevin's academic prowess. He was ineligible the first 10 games of his senior year, and it allowed me the opportunity to play shortstop and contributed enough for Coach to be able to move me to left field. And I was so blessed to be able to start and play every year in over 200 games. So, I was really fortunate and blessed to be able to do that. Matt Randall's here, my former roommate, who could hit the ball a country mile, couldn't catch a cold, but we loved him, and he was such a good player and so fun to be around. David Cresson, who I don't think he could hit above the Mendoza line, but he turned into one of the best closers and pitchers in Spring Hill history and was so instrumental on that team. Jeff Berg, who's one of the best all-around players that I ever played with. He's also a Hall of Famer and just an incredible player. He could throw, he could hit, he could run, he could hit for power. He could do it all. He was such an instrumental part of those teams. J.J. Peru is here. J.J. couldn't hit his way out of a wet paper bag, but he was a great catcher and a great receiver and had such a knowledge of the game, and we were so fortunate to be able to coach together at McGill in later years. And thank you for being here, JJ. Chad Sedetol is here, who could just go get it in center field and played with a spunk and a pizzazz and a passion that was just so much fun to be around. Such a great player. Stephen Keena, who a lot of you know, was just a bulldog on the mound and just so fun to play behind. Thank you for being here, Stephen. Jake Farrell, who also played here, who I had the pleasure of coaching with at McGill with Blake. Some of my best years coaching was with Jake in the dugout. That '92 team, I mentioned Kevin Grimes, but Joe Stutz, Phil Kane, and Justin Foltz. We had such a great group of leaders in that class, and we had a really solid freshman class, but we also had a great group of guys and players in between, and that team just came together. It was just something special. I played on a lot of good teams in my 4 years here, but that one was fortunate enough to win a conference championship, and we knew we were going to win when we walked out there. Our goal at one time in the month of March was to go undefeated, and I think we won 22 or 23 games in a row, and maybe lost the last one. We played Bellhaven in the first round of the conference tournament in '92, and we were down 8 runs in the 8th inning. And if we lose that, and you know how winners bracket games go in those types of tournament, we weren't going to come back from it. But we scored 9 or 10 runs, came back in great comeback fashion, won that game, and eventually won the championship game against William Carey. And that team, I knew we were going to win. We pulled up to the game that day, and William Carey's, stretching and doing everything, and our guys are in the outfield playing fungo golf. And they were just so relaxed. We knew we were going to win when we walked out there. But that was such a phenomenal team and just so much fun to be around. Mark Allen, congratulations. Congratulations to all the inductees. So many of my memories here were watching you guys play on the basketball court and watching Coach Nash and Coach Nyland run around on the sideline. And I was telling Mark earlier, the success that they had while we were here and the success that we had was just so much fun. To be able to go out and support each other, to watch them and act fools at the basketball games and then watch them do the same thing on the wall during baseball games. And it was just so much fun and so enjoyable. I remember, I don't know why this one sticks with me, probably because he was a great player in his own mind. But Joe Espada, who was shortstop for Mobile College, not the University of Mobile, I remember catching a backhand in the hole in a big game versus them and throwing him out and just watching the wall erupt. And it was just so much fun and so enjoyable to be around and just to be a part of that. But my Spring Hill journey was really made complete because of what it did for my spiritual life. The theology classes that were here, the professors, the mass that you could go to on campus, especially that 10 o'clock mass that Lindsay and I started going to when we were dating. My Spring Hill journey was made whole and made complete by the theology classes and by those masses. And I just want to thank again everybody who was here, able to make it tonight, and those of you who weren't able to make it, you're with us in spirit. But thank you again to the Hall of Fame Committee. Congratulations to all the inductees, and I hope everyone has a great evening.
Next, we're going to recognize the Southern States Conference Championship team, 74-75 basketball team that really set the tone for basketball here on the Hill.
The 1974-75 Spring Hill men's basketball team delivered one of the most remarkable seasons in program history, capturing the Southern States Conference Championship with a 12-2 record and setting 16 school records along the way. The Badgers posted a 20-7 mark, setting school records for most wins, fewest losses, and the best winning percentage in a single season. The team also secured the program's first back-to-back winning seasons in more than 20 years and advanced to the NAIA District Playoff semifinals. Anthony Anderson was named the Mobile Press-Register College Basketball Player of the Year, while Anderson, Jim Rabarchek, Tony Bivens, and John King each earned all-conference honors. Head coach Frank Kearns was recognized as the Southern States Conference Coach of the Year, guiding a team that set a new standard for excellence on the Hill. Congratulations to the 1974-75 men's basketball team.
Team members, come on up and you get a picture. We got Kevin Miller coming all the way from Sweden, Tony Bivens from Los Angeles, Rodney Winston from Cleveland, people from all over the country, Tim Murphy, just so many people, Mike Springs. He's coming. the team, but we're only going to have a couple people say a couple things, just for a little bit. Rodney, come on up.
What a group. Ladies and gentlemen, glad to be here. Glad to support this team from 74-75. This was so much of an accomplishment. The first year at Spring Hill, me and Fishman came over from McGill Institute down the street there. And we went through some kind of changes on that freshman year. We had different people on the team. They weren't used to Coach Kern's type of play or coaching per se, and I don't know, it just took us through some changes coming from a formal program like McGill. The second year, it was a little bit better, I think. That third year, our junior year, things really did turn around for our team, Spring Hill. We were able to put together a larger number of wins that year. We were able to kind of bring a lot more recognition to the school, and that made a huge difference. Of course, like Fishman said, Coach Kearns did not change between McGill and Spring Hill. He basically kept the pressure on, the whole time. But playing for that 74-75 team, even though we didn't know how that year was going to progress, we knew we were better than the year before. We knew that the teams that we were playing weren't as good as us. And we basically went through it and were so successful, I thought, in accomplishing what we did. Wow, miss these guys. It's been a while. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Mike McGrath. I think I was one of the players that Tony was alluding to that had a hard time adapting to Coach Kurtz's way of coaching. I came in at mid-semester of between the 72-73 seasons, and Marty Carroll, who was a senior on that 73 team, he came over to my house. I was an itinerant college basketball player at that time, in between opportunities, and I think he probably talked to Coach Hughes about this, I'm not sure. But anyway, I got home one day and my mom said, Marty Carroll was here today. He lived about 2 blocks away from me. And we had played against each other in grammar school and in high school. So my mom knew him really well, but that was the first time he was ever in my house. So I was like, really, what did he want, And she said, well, he wants you to come down to Spring Hill and try out. So kind of like Mark's story. And so I came down, unlike Lieutenant Colonel King's story of extended recruitment. I just flew down and spent 2 days trying out, and then Coach Kearns, somebody tonight accused me of giving him the nickname the Colonel. That's not right though, because he was the Colonel at McGill, right? Wasn't he? Yeah. Okay, so I categorically deny giving him the nickname, although it was a good fit, whoever came up with it. So also on the first team, I was here with, there was also KK Perkins and Pepper Woolsey from McGill too. Pepper's here. I don't know if KK's here. Is KK here? Oh, I'm sorry. And Marty Carroll, he's passed too, unfortunately. Did you guys win the state tournament that year at McGill? You got to the finals?
We got to the semifinals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should have. I mean, you had 4 college players on the team. Must have been Colonel's fault. Because I'll tell you one thing, that as good as this team was, when he would coach Kearns, the rare occasions that he would let us play improvisational basketball, we were a lot better than we knew we were. In one game, German Barchuk asked me to say something brief, so I'll try to keep it very brief. In our Christmas tournament in this would have been 74, we played a team, Alabama State, and they were like, weren't they ranked in the top 3 in the nation or something along those lines? Top 5? Anyway, they had, at every position, they had about 5 inches on us. And that was the truth. Because one time I remember, I mean, that was a game that was like a dream. And it wasn't until a few weeks ago I went online to look at, the yearbooks, and the score of that game was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was 96-92, and we won. And but I remember being in the block one time on defense, guarding somebody, and I looked out towards the point, and their point guard was dribbling. This was in the second half by this point. The point guard was dribbling the ball up the floor, and Tony was probably guarding him. And I thought to myself, that SOB is probably close to 7 foot tall, because I couldn't even see you. But yeah, they were a very, very tall team. But anyway, the point is, we just, he just let us go that game. I guess he didn't think we were going to win. So it ended up 96-93. And anyway, the reason why I came down here tonight was not the award. It was just to see these gentlemen up here, Jesuit scholar athletes. If you all have any questions, I'll let my teammates answer them after the game.
Good evening, I'm Rodney Winston, Coach Kearns, who's gone on to Glory Land. He recruited me back in the 70s to be a part of this team. I'm very grateful, very proud to be affiliated with them because of the fact they were tough, they were competitors, and at the same time, they had a good feeling about each other, and we were able to share in that. So I'm not going to keep you, because a lot of you now, as I look at your expressions, you look dehydrated, and I was hoping you were going to get rehydrated, but there's nothing to get rehydrated with. So with all of that, I wanted to conclude. God bless you. God bless each and every one of you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your prayers and everything.
I'd like to bring up now our president of our student athlete advisement committee, Colin Coates. He's a senior basketball player, and his dad, Sam Coates, who's a former player here, an alumnus, to just talk a little bit about Spring Hill College. Go ahead.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Colin Coates, and it's a privilege to be up here before you and be part of the Spring Hill community. First off, huge congratulations to the inductees. Your achievements are remarkable and inspiring. I'm a four-year senior here, student athlete on the men's basketball team, and I'm the president of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. And I'm also involved in other organizations on campus. And Spring Hill College has given me an opportunity to enhance my leadership skills, and I've made several friends. I have countless memories here that I will forever be grateful for. And he's a big reason why I come here. He graduated in '94. He also played basketball here, and I see what Spring Hill has done for him and the lifelong friends that he has, and it's truly inspiring, and it's a big reason why I came here. And yeah, I'm just glad to be up here speaking. Thank you, Coach Joe, for having me up here, and it's a privilege. I'll leave it to you, Dad.
Thank you. I promise to make this very quick. I love Spring Hill College, and Spring Hill is all about love and family. I love the Jesuit priest that knocked on my door when I skipped class and would have conversations with me in the cafeteria about how I should grow up and be more responsible. I love the fact that all my professors, I can go to their office and talk to them anytime. I love the fact that any fraternity, sorority, or club would not only just invite their fraternity, sorority, club, they would invite the whole college to the event where everybody got to hang out together. I love the fact that you knew everybody's name in the cafeteria. I love the fact that, and this is, I guess, the most important part, the farther I get away from it, the more I love it. I have lifelong friends that are sitting all around this room from Spring Hill College that we get together once a year. They're from all over the country. That makes this place special. Spring Hill is all about love and family, and I was very blessed to be part of it. And I'm very fortunate and so happy my son gets to be a part of it because I get to live it all over again. I get to hear all the stories. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember all that stuff. And I get to live it again. So thank you to everybody here. Thank you, Coach Nyland and Spring Hill College. I will always love you.
And I promise I am the last speaker, okay? We're going to have a little bit of fun. I was never an athlete at Spring Hill. I was one of those guys that we call a fan. And if there was a fan hall of fame, I think I would have made it. Because I think I'm the only guy that spent a night in prison being a Spring Hill, or jail for Spring Hill. I was at a South Alabama game watching the great Eddie Stanky from the White Sox go against Coach Galley. First inning, I sat down next to a brown paper bag, which happened to have in an ice cold pack of Budweiser. And an off-duty Mobile policeman taps me on the shoulder to explain the law to me, and didn't buy any of my excuses. Called the squad roll, and they sent me down, got me fingerprinted mugshot, and I spent the night in jail. But I didn't get to see the game, so it's true. Anyway, we're going to have a little, you got a little card in front of you, I think. Everybody's got that. We're going to have a little fun now. You know, you've seen these great stories tonight with all these people that were great students, great athletes. We have over 300 of these same student athletes right on this campus right now. And they're the same ilk. These kids are driven, they're working hard, they're practicing, they're studying, and they're going to be the same kind of great citizens that all of you have become. and the same kind of examples that you guys have made. But they're also our most expensive students. So between the scholarships and the uniforms and the travel, it's just so expensive to do it. So we're going to try to have a little paddle race tonight, which is your little paddle here. And my lovely Brittany is going to take her. She's my Vanna White tonight. She's going to help me. And we're going to start out at a level, if someone would donate, $10,000 to our athletic department. To have a $10,000 donor. Jack's going to get $10,000. Thank you, Jack. But I tell you, you think, hang on. This does not let you off the hook for making me sit in that jail for 16 hours while you wouldn't come up with the whatever kind of bail money I needed. Yeah. He ended up getting Father Forgo out of bed in the morning, and he signed me out. But that was. But you're still not on the hook. All right, I'll put $10,000 in, and there we go. Tim Murphy. Tim's going to autograph basketballs for you tonight after he signs that check for Brittany. Okay, thanks. How about anybody else at that 10,000 level? We're going to make it level for everybody's budget here. So, anybody else? 10,000. Let's go to 5,000. What about 5,000? I'm looking around here. Patty, there you go. Thank you, Patty. Okay. How about anybody else who wants to give back for all the good times they had down here? And I promise you, you're going to feel good when you do this. This is the best thing you can do to be generous, you know, and you won't regret it tonight when you walk out of here. I want you to feel good about it. All right, we're still at 5,000. Anybody else? 5,000. All right, let's go to $2,500. How about $2,500? Art, thank you. Thank you. 2,500. Okay, let's look around. Anybody else? 2,500. 2,500. Be careful when you're waving that flag over there. I can see that in my eye. That could be expensive. Okay, let's go to $1,000. That can be in somebody's budget. $1,000. Okay, right here. You get one? We got two. We got two. We got three. Oh boy. Now the Jesuits make $50 a month. Okay, and we just got $1,000. Come on, that's going to take them years to pay that off. You got another one right here? There you go. You got them all? Anybody else? $1,000. Here we go. This is Zerniak. Thank you, Button. Okay. Anybody else? $1,000. $1,000. There we go right here. One more. One more. Anybody? Maybe a table wants to go. I see one. This will get. Oh, I've got a Stewarty back there. There we go. Okay. Very good. Okay. Anybody else? $1,000. Maybe a table wants to get together for $1,000. Huh? No. Okay. Oh, here we go. Did we get that? Okay. One more. Anybody else? $1,000. $1,000. You know, it costs $50,000 just for uniforms for these teams. $50,000. When they go travel to one of these events on the weekends, just to go up there with between the bus they got to charter, the motel rooms and the meals, that's like $12,000. So, and you multiply that times dozens and dozens of events that they go to. You know, so that's something else. You got one? Another one here? Yeah. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, we have an anonymous donor right here that's giving us money. Is one of our administrators right here that's came up with $1,000. Thank you. That's wonderful. You should keep that. Okay. Let's make it really 1,000. Are we done at 1,000? One more. We missed one. Oh, we missed one. There we go. Okay, perfect. $1,000. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Uniforms. I said uniforms are. That's $50,000. That's like $100 a kid at least. I said that doesn't count the rugby team because I understand they play naked down in Israel, so they don't even need uniforms. So, okay, let's go to $500. Who can do Who can do $500? Or a table for $500? Oh, I see one. Oh, we got a couple over here. Look at this. Oh my goodness, these are our own staff is now coming up with $500. Okay, here we go. Brittany, how we doing? Good. Oh, we got back here. Mr. Robarch, Coach? Okay, Joe, thank you. 500, 500. Come on, who can do 500? There we go. Another one, another 500. You're going to feel good. I promise you that when we make a gift like this, you're going to go out here feeling good tonight. Better than you ever thought you would. 500. Okay. 500. Okay, we'll go down to 250. How about 250? Come on. Let's get a couple of 250s in here. Anybody? 250. 250? Nobody? Somebody? All right, you see in your card, I think at the bottom level, we get $100. What about $100? That's like Starbucks. Come on, there we go. Okay. Oh, look, you're getting all these names. Keep those up because we got to get you down here. $100. Any more than 100? Anyone? Oh, there's another one. $100. You got it? You're better than being a white. You know, there's another one. Don't forget. Chris Armstrong, the marketing people who put together the videos and those things do a great job. And then Patty Howell, Brittany Ramsey, Kendall Hurley that did most of the work, setting the room up and doing all the other stuff. So really appreciate their help in doing this. It's been a great event. Congratulations to all the inductees. McKinney's is open, so if people are looking to socialize and not drive, you can walk over to McKinney's. It's right in the student center. Bill, Ward, there's not 25-cent drafts anymore. It's 19. And Coach Pressel, they're not giving out free food at midnight either. So, but McKinney's is in walking distance. I know there's some people looking to go over there. They're set up for you. So, again, congratulations to everyone, and go Badgers. Have a safe day.